Heat 7 hitting the lineup. John Florence up against Glenn Hall. John coming into this one in 15th position, up 3 spots after a quarter-final finish up there at the Quicksilver Pro France. Glenn Hall is down the back end of the ratings in 30th spot. Well, cast your mind back to Trestles, and it was Glenn Hall upsetting John in this very round, the second round, and that's the only head-to-head matchup they've had, so Micro will take some confidence out of that. And here goes the Australian. Now, he does represent Ireland, but not a bad start to the heat.
Couple of quick turns there for Micro, and it definitely has upset in the air. There's been some big heats so far, and here goes John. Look at that whip off the top, nice snap, clean closeout re-entry. So straight away you can see the difference in those two waves. John getting a quick edge.
Definitely easy scores to compare for the judges. 2 turns. John's first turn just a bit more explosive. He gets a 5.5. Glenn Hall a 3.5. And John has to be sharp here. He'd be thinking back to Trestles, and he wants to get an early lead this time and get 2 scores on the board. Strong first turn on his second ride to get started. Throws his board into the lip again and then winds through a nice frontside carve to finish. Taking that one right through to the inside. Glenn Hall looking for an answer on this one. Couple of clean hits, but waves the white flag on that ride. Well, Glenn Hall used to, on his profile on the ASP page, where it said height, it just had short written there. Didn't even have a measurement, but here we go. This is the replay of John's last ride.
I love that first turn from John, kicking the tail out and then backed it up with each turn he kept that speed up, that flow that we talk about, so he didn't put too much energy into each turn where he had to recover. He really kept that speed throughout, and it looked really nice. So, for me, that's excellent surfing. That's got to be close to an 8. We'll see.
He won in France. He came down here to Portugal, and he had 2 10-point rides as he moves through the rounds, but fell short in the semis. But here's a replay of Glenn's last ride.
So you can see the difference in techniques right there, Glenn. A couple of backside snaps there, but just cutting them a little short. A lot of times guys on their backhand, they'll pivot to where they come up 12 o'clock and get that really beautiful vertical approach and throw a lot of water in the air. But Glenn just cutting it a little bit short, a couple of kind of a cut down carves, and as a result, he got a 3.9.
I guess, I don't know, just do the same routine I do every day when there's a contest. Wake up, get all deep and do my yoga. And then, just go surfing no matter what and just feel the ocean and, just kind of get a feel for the conditions and just kind of pretend that I'm going to run no matter what. So.
And, you've got some support. I mean, we did a little interview with all the group down there, and they're super supportive of your surfing. Does that help you out when you're out in the water?
So also counting on the 7.77, and he has comboed Glenn Hall at this stage of the game. Let's have a look at the replay.
Again, he joined Micro over there next to him, had priority. Watch this, too easy, little tail reverse. John always makes that look like it's just a standard off the lip. It's amazing how easy he makes those little reverses look.
And back to live action. Here goes Glenn using priority for this one. Waiting for this wall to stand up, and it doesn't. And you can see the frustration there. But just prior to paddling out for this heat, I heard Glenn talking to CJ Hobgood. There was a bit of a left rip bowl down the beach.
Both those guys, obviously, they were sitting right there, aiming for that world title. That was a big shock.
Well, here we go, back to live action now. Glenn Hall on his 5th wave, looking to get out of combination. He's not going to do it with this ride. With just over 14.5 minutes to go. Micro's heat time is getting shorter and shorter. He's basically got a 14.5 minute heat now. He's got to track down 2 scores that are almost in the excellent range.
This is where we'll see John click into creative mode. Now that he's got a couple of solid scores, he's not going to go for your stock standard lippers. He's going to get a little buck wild.
And here we go. Using priority for this wave, looking to dump a 7.17. He's got some speed to throw out the end section, takes to the air and plants the reverse, and the crowd loves it, eating it up. And you mentioned it, Ross, a healthy lead, and now John can really let fly.
He's loading his shotgun right now. He's definitely going to have fun out there, firing away at some big moves. And so that was pretty big right there, projecting out into the flats as he does. And, you know, he cushions that blow. Those maneuvers are really tough to land, but he picks the nose as he rides out of it. Nice little snap there. Getting some rail in the water. Now he sees the ramp, adjusts his stance. There's that foot. You can see that front foot slide to the nose. That lets him kind of pick out of it. And that's why he has such a high strike rate landing these moves. If you keep the board flat, it's really tough to ride out of it. Watch the front foot. Right there, he slides it forward, the nose picks, and he gets that little rocker to float out of it. Really cushions the blow, and you know, it's really tough to do, but it's natural for John John.
Well, there's just over 5.5 minutes remaining in Heat 7 of round 2, and it's John Florence who is out in front, waxing Glenn Hall at the moment, but this could be Micro's chance to get back in the heat. He takes to the air and almost rides out of a bit of an awkward air reverse there.
Well, here's the thing for Glenn. I know you'd think, okay, what's he doing? He's kind of getting out of his comfort zone, popping airs, but that wave didn't have a whole lot on offer in terms of traditional surfing.
The heat recap, because John has had some highlight moments in this heat.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, there's a reason why John John was the favorite in this heat, but it's nice to see him have rhythm with the ocean. You know, it's one thing to, you know, be the favorite in terms of performing on the wave, but you still need to put together a good plan, and John John definitely did that. He grabbed a couple of scores right away, 5.5, then he built on it with a 7.77. Then we bagged a couple scores. He went to the air and popped that infamous John John tail waft reverse into the nose pick. So beautiful air for John John. And now he's got himself a really comfortable lead with that 8.4.
Well, let's see if Glenn Hall can find a corner, because John Florence, he has priority out there, so he gets his pick of the waves. And he is charging down the line now, looking for a ramp on the inside here. He throws down one of his smooth air reverses. Not a lot of height in that one, but just projecting right over a long section and riding out with ease. Here goes Micro. He's going to drive off the bottom into this first section. Clean belt. Drives up into the lip. The wave starts to fade away. But the goofy footer doesn't give up, and he brings it right through to the inside, gets his board vertical for a moment. So just over 2.5 minutes to go. We'll wait for the scores to come through and see if Glenn has pulled himself out of combination to give himself a shot coming into the final 2.5 minutes.
Saw Glenn had a little smile on his face, was looking back. I don't know if a buddy was on the beach giving some encouragement, but that's a start for Glenn. That may even break him out of the combination land there. Another smooth reverse from John John, looking for a ramp. Just barely gets one, but he still projects horizontally. That was cool how he kind of, you know, didn't go towards the beach. We've been seeing a lot of those tail wafts towards the beach, but this one was along with the wave, so he actually covered some ground. You know, didn't project out as high as he wanted. You can see that nose actually picked a little bit on the whitewash, not really allowing him to fly as high as he wanted to, but still so smooth. This first snap's pretty nice for Glenn. Gets the tail out the back, actually threw a couple fins, so that's always a good sign if you can expose some fins out the back, but that wave got kind of mushy, and then finish it off with a clean little snap. So, you know, it's could be just above that good range for Micro. He's hoping to climb out of that combo.
1.5 minutes to go. Still waiting on those scores to come through. Two goofy footers that love to really lock horns in a solid fight. Here goes Glenn Hall. And he's just going to bring this one through to the inside by the looks of things. There's just 50 seconds to go, and Micro's calling it a day. His last score still coming through, but it looks like John Florence might even improve his lead again.
Yeah, Micro tapping out. Just too much firepower from John John out here with the ace up his sleeve, going for those nose picks. You know, that's almost an unfair advantage to not be able to pull, you know, match John in the air with the waves how they are right now. It's tough.
Well, just 15 seconds as the Hawaiian brings this one in. The 23-year-old celebrating a birthday at the last stop. He is moving on through to the third round.